Anything
I have
are.
no idea because I'm not at home, so I can't see the stream today.
My name's Samera.
My name's Will.
Yeah, that's my name. It's a good name.
It's a good strong name. It's a good American name.
Fuck. We're starting there already.
No. I'm watching too much Fallout recently.
Oh.
I'm playing too much Helldivers too.
For democracy.
So the satirical propaganda is getting to me.
Welcome to
Transpotting. I'm one of your 4 co-hosts. Welcome to the show. I'm Riv, aka River. I'm going to toss over to Samera. Samera, say hi. Hi, Samera. Toss over to Jess. Jess, say hi.
Hi.
Perfect. Nailed it. Like always, you're getting a raise. Eve, say hi.
Hi.
Eve, perfect. You're getting a raise.
Yay.
Welcome to Transpotting, where everyone gets a raise except for Samera.
And the big
Hi. Anyway, we're going to talk about some shit tonight. We don't have a guest. It's just us 4 shooting the shit about stuff and things because a lot has happened in the past couple of weeks since we have last assembled to discuss said things.
Also, before we jump into the shit, how's everybody doing today? Not everybody
I'm
at once.
Awkward pause.
I blame Jess for the awkward pause. They clearly weren't filling the air with enough stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The king of awkward pauses. I'm doing all right. I'm a little tired. I brought some coffee to this podcast experience tonight because I am feeling a little bit tired. But I'm doing great. I went to a roller skating rink earlier today, which is why I think I'm tired. I'm blaming the roller skating rink.
Was it not your choice?
No, I mean it was great. It was not my choice. No, I did not. It was not my choice to go roller skating, but I was fine with it. It's just it was a lot. It was a lot. It's like this particular one. It's like a fucking casino in there. Basically, there's like. Yeah, because I mean they have the roller skating, the rink, but they also have like a lot of like arcade games. But arcade games now are like casino games. They're like I don't know. They're very like flashy and like in your eyes, and there's lots of sound, and it's just yeah. So anyway, kind of chill. But yeah, drawled on enough about that. How are you, Eve?
I'm doing pretty good. My camera's all kinds of out of whack though for some reason. I don't know why. I'm doing pretty good. Been a long week for sure, but I'm glad. Oh wait, no, it's Sunday. Crap, I go back to work tomorrow. Never mind, I'm horrible. It took minutes to get there. Quickly. I just realized where I am.
You are currently here.
Had a quiet weekend, just chilling at home. So, and there was no snow this weekend. So nice and calm weather. Well, I did get chased by a goose this afternoon.
Cobra chicken.
Yes, I was chased by a cobra chicken.
Peace was never an option after all.
No. Because we made the mistake of feeding them once, and they remember. I see you giving me that look, Samera.
I'm not getting any look.
Hey, I'm just happy you didn't goose it.
Everybody on me.
Slip that one right in, just right under the.
Wow, that's what she said. Moving on, Samera, how are you doing?
Okay, fine. I'm doing. It's a loaded question. Some moments I'm doing great. Some moments I'm doing rough. This week was the shit. In the bad way, not the good way. But this weekend has been really good. Really relaxing, really quiet. I'm currently at my parents' place. As you can see, I'm not at home. I don't have my nice plushies behind me. The Canadian flag is taken down anyways, because I'm fucking Canadian. Obligatory.
I never could have known, ever.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy you tell us every episode. It's really great.
She's not so much telling us as she has rubbing our noses in it.
So here's the thing. I'm damned if I do say it. I'm damned if I don't say it.
How are you damned if you don't say it again?
Because the last episode I wasn't mentioning it. No, the last episode I wasn't mentioning it, and it was somebody was saying, "You're what, Samera? You're what, Samera?" And I think that person was Riv.
I don't think it was. I think you're misremembering that.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Don't worry, I'm not gas lamping you or anything.
What's gas lamping?
Lamping? I don't even know what that is.
Guess you better look it up.
No, well,
Google
the right
things?
response to what's gaslighting is gaslighting doesn't exist.
It's something similar to what I'm doing. So yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been good. I had brunch with a friend today, and now I'm just chilling here. How are you, Rev?
Awesome. I'm so happy you had brunch with a friend and are chilling. I'm also chilling. I had a good day. Good morning. Good morning. You know, had a chill Valentine's Day. Had a way too eventful couple weeks, let me tell you. The day job is day jobbing way too hard. And I super look forward to the moments we get to hang out together. So thank you, all of you, for being part of this silly little show where we celebrate trans joy and also rage about the bullshit that we collectively go through. So
Just
I
a little
appreciate
bit
y'all
of it.
so much.
Here, here.
Just a little bit. Just not much these days. You know, we've gotten really progressive, actually. Sorry.
Aggressive bullshit.
If we could just hold out to like another election, then maybe
If we have them. We're going to have them?
I mean,
yeah,
if you
exactly.
guys even get elections again.
That's why I said it sarcastically. Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause
Yay.
I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I'm sorry. I'm just posting on threads that we are live.
Yeah,
We're
I can't
live.
post on any of my socials this time, so it's all your responsibilities.
You don't have a smartphone with you?
I do, but do you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to post on all the different things on a smartphone?
Copy,
See,
paste.
Jess is nodding. Jess is nodding. Jess understands.
Get good.
Okay, I will let you know. That my laptop is actually getting fixed. I actually finally brought it in, so if I ever do travel
good.
again, I will have a laptop again.
What happened to your laptop after, by the way? What's
So
wrong with that?
I'm talking to the IT person, so I need to make sure I get this right.
I won't drag you. I won't drag you about that. About anything else I will, but not that.
No, it's a gaming laptop, and I think the fan is starting to go because I think one of the ball bearings went on it, and as soon as the fan starts going up, all you hear is, and it's just like,
great.
So I brought it in to get fixed, and hopefully they can get it fixed.
Awesome. Yeah. Fan replacement for sure.
Yeah. It's not going to be cheap. I'm already ready for it.
Yeah, just don't let them sell you that that computer fan fluid. I always mark it up, I tell you.
Computer fan fluid that I have to buy as well? Are you fucking kidding me?
I was saying don't let them sell it to you.
But why not?
Because
now
it
that I
doesn't
know about it,
exist.
I need to make sure I get it.
I think it's on the shelf with the muffler wrench and the blinker fluid.
There's blinker fluid?
Yeah, it's when the blinker can, from moment to moment, day to day, transitions fluidly between being a blinker and a backup light. You're welcome.
I thought it was like if you had the blinker fluid in there, it would like the light would like wave in and out of it. You know, when your blinker fluid's full.
Wait, there's a way to make
with
it
the blinker
wave?
fluid, it wave instead of like click. It kind of whoosh. It's like this different effect. Yeah.
Whoosh, whoosh, indeed. Oh.
So do we want to start on a high note, or do we want to start in the shit right away?
I think we should start. I think we should start on a high note.
Talk about rolling in the deep.
Jess, why don't I let you take this one because you were super excited about this one.
The high note?
You've forgotten already.
Yeah,
I thought
the one you were super excited for.
The one I was super excited for.
We were talking about it.
Have I just had a complete?
Europe.
Talking about. All right, so I see the problem here. There is a colloquial accent that Samera is experiencing, saying Europe, as in the country, but it's sounding like she is saying you're up, as in it's your turn to talk about something that you're super excited about.
Okay, hang on. Whoa, we're not jumping over this. How do you say Europe?
Europe. There's based on the context of the sentence, it sounded like you were asking him to.
It's
say
okay.
something.
It doesn't matter. I was confusing. It's true.
I'm autistic, and I
Europe.
saw a pattern happening.
Europe.
Okay.
So in Europe this week, since you're up,
thank you.
In Europe, there was good news. There was the high note that probably, maybe, arguably one of the highest notes of the week. So let me see if I can. Yeah.
Not hard.
And I know Aaron in the morning reported on this, which Samera you brought up specifically, but was it like a resolution, or there was some kind of like major formal statement between the majority of members of the European Union And I know specifically what Aaron was highlighting was that they made a statement that trans women are women, but it sounds like the statement was long. I mean, I figured the statement was longer than that. I actually didn't dig deep into the story, but I was like, oh, that's really fantastic, and like, obviously, kind of throwing some shade to the UK. Those are my main thoughts. No, right now it's like, way to go, Brexit. Yeah, you wild transphobes over there can't get your shit together about like human rights. And like here we are in the European Union being like, this is obviously like the correct path here. So
Well, the biggest problem with the UK is that a lot of their politics is currently being funded by the evil witch lady. So, you know.
Oh, I want to put an evil witch cackle noise in there. There you go.
That was a good one.
That way I don't have to edit it later. Okay, I know. I used to do like voices all the time. I look at this. I got a podcast voice. It's fine. I can do sound effects. It's all good. It's fine. Yeah. It's just saving me time in the long run. Really, I don't want to edit one in later.
Oh, good.
Who needs a soundboard when you have River available to you?
I become the soundboard usually.
That's
honestly.
true. I've clipped you a couple times now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a law that was put in though by the EU. So it was the EU Parliament, European Parliament, and the directive which reads, and I pulled it up on my phone because I want to make sure I get this right. It's called the Gender Recast Directive, and it's the Court of Justice has held that the scope of the principle of equal treatment for men and women cannot be confined to the prohibition of discrimination based on the fact that a person is of one or other sex. In view of its purpose and the nature of the rights which it seeks to safeguard, it also applies to discrimination arising from the gender reassignment of a person. So, like, the scope is basically transgender men, women, non-binary, two-spirited. It encompasses everything. And to your point, like, my biggest problem about the Aaron in the Morning news article that went out, it basically was trans women are women according to EU. Like, it doesn't talk about trans men. It doesn't talk about non-binary. It doesn't talk about two-spirit. And it's, as I said earlier, like, if you want to be an advocate for transgender issues, you need to include everybody. You can't just be like, trans women.
I mean, I think that's true. I will say I actually, like, I subscribed to Aaron in the Morning, and I, like, literally, that was one of the ones where I, like, saw the subheader, and I was like, oh, cool. I want to read that later, and then didn't get back to it. But, I agree with you. Yes, absolutely. I'm wondering if part of that is, you know, just the response of like trans women being utilized as such a gotcha, or that like attempt in some of these other like kind of in the different statements and stuff that this is kind of in response to, you know. But like, I mean, I almost like from the reporting perspective, but I do think that is really important, that it's like not inclusive. I mean, it's important that it's kind of not that I think it's like valid to bring that up as well, I guess is all I'm saying. Like, I agree, because it is really true that like we don't want to, we want to be inclusive to everyone in the community, especially like, but yeah, I guess I just figured that was like where that was coming from.
And absolutely. And I think you're correct on that. As you know, there has been a lot more issues around the world with trans women more than anybody else. And trans women do seem to be a lot more of the target. So it is good to highlight that, but at the same time, like, you know, I think at an earlier podcast, we kind of talked a little bit about this with you, Jess, about the fact that there wasn't as much highlighting or information or news about trans masc people or non-binary people. And so that's where I kind of get it. You know, whenever I start to see stuff like this, I start to be a lot more noticing of it, because exactly that. And I mean, you enlightened me on that.
Yeah, it's definitely true. And I mean, I think that yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky thing, because I definitely think that like trans women, I think that it makes a lot of sense to me that they are the focus of a lot of pushback to all the attacks on them as well, you know. But it is also true that that visibility shifts very much for genderqueer folks and trans guys. And I think it is really important that they like, I haven't even followed all the ins and outs of the laws in the UK, but I have seen enough from some commentary of it online to understand that it definitely what's happening in the UK is something that is affecting trans women and trans men, but it is also the kind of this conversation of, because some of the ways that the laws have been, or the different, I don't even know if they're laws, but the different guidance that's been put out, and then the different response to that guidance as far as these associations saying who can be included in them or not included in them anymore. That is also like, it's treating trans women and trans men differently. And then there's been like kind of all this conversation around that. Well, is it easier for trans women right now than trans men? It's like, it's obviously really fucking hard for everyone right now in the UK who is trans, but again, I don't know like all the details exactly of like what are the differences, but I know that's also like another part of the conversation, because one of the things that's happening there is like, there are some distinctions even in the law, which gets like really wild, but it's like, it's still shitty for both, because all transgender people are discriminated against, even if it's in slightly different ways,
A nuanced response. I deeply appreciate you. Yeah. It's bad for everyone. And yet there are still specific targets, specific recurring targets. And at the same time, too, journalism, as much as we'd like to keep saying it's unbiased, there are demographics you have to play to in order to actually make it, because you don't just get to go, I'm a journalist one day, and then you just make money out of nowhere. You have to market yourself and all that good stuff. So I'm sure part of it is playing to demographics, in addition to, hey, I'm part of this demographic and I'm deeply impacted by this. I'm sure you are too, because you are part of the demographic I'm playing mostly to. Kind of like we have probably majority of trans femme folks who follow us, because we are a majority trans femme show, and we're working on having more diversity in many different ways. But it's going to be similar for a lot of people, because it's just what you got to do to survive. So I think there's a lot of little things at play, including what you said, including what Samera said, including that there's just, journalism is not, it's not going to be unbiased constantly. And yeah, you do have to gain a following reputation. You do have to follow the demographic, no matter what way you lean.
Well, and it's interesting you also mentioned a little bit about how the UK politics and things that, happen there bleed out. And I mean, there's the cast review. The cast review is a prime example of something that happened in the UK.
More like the ass review, am I right?
Well, absolutely.
Very bad methodology.
It is absolute bullshit what it is, but it did happen. And it, so much of the medical profession in the US basically said, hey, look, here's this great review, and is like, hang on, but I think one of the coolest things about the whole EU taking on the, protection of transgender people in and allowing them to be, trans women are women, trans men are men, etc. It's the fact that it's right now in the European Union, it's a very right of center government that is in right now, and they're the ones who overwhelmingly supported this. Now, there are members of the EU that are not happy with the decision. However, they're part of the EU. They don't really get a say. Like, it is what it is. Like, for example, Hungary. So should the far right government in the EU get elected, we'll see. We'll have to wait to see. But right now, it is a huge win. It is a huge fucking win. We take it.
Yeah. And hopefully that has a snowball effect here into the States at some point. I'm not holding my breath for that, but you got to start somewhere.
Well, that kind of rolls into like one of the other cool talking points that we have here is that in the States right now, there is the bill that just got introduced into Congress, which is the Trans Bill of Rights. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to follow that one too much because Canadian media has been kind of full lately, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So if one of you have information on that, I would love to hear about it, but I just know that it's there.
I actually just pulled up the House.gov article about it, so I can actually do the highlights of what they're introducing. I'll try to keep it short because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 or 7 bullet points, but they're all pretty long. The first one is ensuring that transgender and non-binary people have equal access to services and public accommodations by amending the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to explicitly include gender identity and sex characteristics and protecting them, and amending federal education laws to explicitly clarify that they protect students from discrimination based on gender identity and sex characteristics. Ensuring trans and non-binary peeps have the ability to provide for themselves and their families by codifying Bostock and clarifying that it is illegal to discriminate in employment, housing, and credit card based on gender identity and sex. That one's important because right now here in the States, you can legally, as a trans person, be discriminated against both for employment and housing. So my property manager could come here tomorrow, kick me out and say, oh, it's because you're trans, and I have no legal grounds to fight that on at all. It is legal discrimination currently. So that is a big one for me, especially. Because that always worries me. I don't want to be homeless. I don't think anybody does. Ensuring every child is protected from discrimination.
Have my couch.
What's that?
I said you always have my couch.
Yay! Moving to Canada. Sorry. See you guys later. I'm out. Ensuring every child is protected from discrimination based on their gender identity. By ensuring the rights of students from participating in all areas of school life, classrooms, athletics, facilities, recognizing the right to bodily autonomy, that's a rare thing these days around here, and ethical health care by expanding access to gender-affirming medical care, codifying the right to abortion and contraception, protecting transgender people from discrimination in healthcare, and banning forced surgery on intersex children and infants in violation of ethics standards of care. Promoting the safety of trans and non-binary peeps by investing in community services to prevent violence against trans and non-binary peeps, and expanding service for survivors, investing in mental health services designated for trans and non-binary, and banning so-called conversion therapy practices. And the last one is enforcing the civil rights of transgender people by requiring the Attorney General to designate a liaison within the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice dedicated to advising and overseeing the enforcement of civil rights of transgender people. The last one I don't see happening anytime soon, unfortunately.
Just laughing at that. Pam Bondi, all right, let's go.
Don't see that. But all in all, that covers a lot of the bases that we ask for, like, I don't know, in everyday life.
Yeah. Thanks for reading that. I appreciate that.
Let me see.
So who's introducing it?
This article has, it is being introduced by, where'd it go? I just had it a second ago. U.S. Representatives Pramila Jayapal, Washington, U.S. Senator Edward Markey, Massachusetts, and Representative Sarah Jacobs, California, and Mark Takano, California. There's a little statement from each of them on here as well. I will drop this link in the Twitch chat in a second, by the way, for those who want to read up on it. There's one little thing I want to point out real quick before I get off this page. In 2025 alone, there was 1,022 bills proposed across the country that targets the rights of trans and gender non-conforming individuals, including bills that would jeopardize the health and safety of trans and LGBTQ youth. So when normies out there tell me, oh, it's not as scary as you think, you're not being targeted, kiss my ass. Please show me where that is happening to normal, everyday people. Please. Besides women and their uteruses. Again and again.
Clearly, as we all know, normies is actually the term for fans of Norm Macdonald. Yeah. So specifically them, make sure that you let them know that it's a big fucking deal. And you get off your back. And also, I think I heard that Norm Macdonald might actually be transphobic. So I don't feel terrible about this anymore.
Let me ask, as a dumb Canadian for American politics, if this bill actually does go through, does this override any of those other bills across the states?
It won't go through. It won't go through.
It won't?
No. I mean, I don't think I'm being like too surprising here in saying that it will not.
I'm
It doesn't.
just asking the question if it did.
Yeah.
If it did.
I mean, I think it kind of like. I mean, in this, what I kind of see this is more of like they're. I think that even if it went through, this would be, because I don't know, this wouldn't be like, I mean, Congress doesn't issue guidance. Congress actually makes law. So, I mean, it would be making law, specifically the thing about codifying Bostock, like that, would probably result in some law. But I think it also depends on like the details of the bill, of how they're actually, like, do they have the power to actually influence the things that they're suggesting? Like, yes, but at the same time, this is, I mean, the way that what I see this is kind of just like, this is a reaffirming of the standards where things were going with the recognition of gender identity and trans and non-binary people having more legal rights and having better legal like support or recognition by the government. Like, this is basically the direction that things were going. And so I think that the way that I see this is like, I mean, this is like, it's great that they're putting this forward in that way of like, we are still going for these things. This is still we are still holding all of these standards and those specific, and the specific representatives that are mentioned, I know the Jayapal, I believe, was the first representative from Washington. I think that I'm more familiar with her than I am with the other three, but these 3 states that those 4 people are from are 3 of the most progressive states and already have a lot of what's mentioned in those bills are things that are in place in those states already, and kind of codified in the state government. And so it's great in the way that they're basically saying, we still have these values. We still want to move forward with this, even though they know that it's not, going to go anywhere at this time. But it is another thing that like they can draw back on this. Like the flip side of this is, the whole, like, if the Democrats gain the majority, then they've kind of got this ready to probably turn back to and be like, okay, let's push forward with this now that we actually do have the power to pass it. It's like my interpretation of like what's happening there.
Yeah, I don't know if a transgender Bill of Rights would fall into the same category as the actual Bill of Rights that covers all the amendments. My understanding of it is at a federal level, it kind of creates that upper limit of what you can and can't get away with. States, it has to do with the supremacy clause comes into it, where how federal laws, constitutional laws and all that stuff, it's kind of like the supreme law of the land, which is where the Bill of Rights comes into. Like, that's kind of like, you can't take those rights away from anybody. Whether or not the trans Bill of Rights would rise to that level, I hope it would, because then you get to fall into those fun things like whether or not states' laws are in direct conflict with federal law. That's where that would actually really come into play. I don't know. I'm not really sure how this would legislate out. States do have kind of
bullet points.
What's that?
I think it depends on different bullet points, because I think one of them talked about how it would actually amend the civil rights, like the actual Civil Rights Act. So like that was impactful for, that's the supreme law of the land, right? So I just know every time they're like, hey, the Civil Rights Act, refer back to that. It's like, oh, you have to do what this says. It doesn't matter what state you are. So at least some of that stuff would be potentially bound by that. But once again, I don't know. I don't see it getting passed anytime soon with the supermajority and the Republican side of things.
Yeah, because where I could see it really getting argued is I think it's the 10th Amendment in the Bill of Rights that has that's the big legal requirement for states' rights, where the state has their say in how they manage their state. And that's where you really find those battles come into play. So if it's federally mandated that, yes, trans people have all these rights, let's go to one of the more extreme cases, Texas, where they're going to say, well, we don't want that here. And that's where you might see that moving up to the very jerry-rigged Supreme Court, maybe. I'm kind of guessing here. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I don't know laws all that well. So take what I say with a grain of salt.
That's a fascinating system.
Oh, it's so wonderful. It's wonderfully simple.
Fascinating. That's the word for it.
I mean, it is. It is in the sense of, I grew up with the Canadian system, which is obviously vastly different. And understanding, like, for example, the British system, because in Canada we learn about the whole British, monarchy and their systems as well, because we're part of the whole British Commonwealth. That's what it is. So, I mean, we learn about that. We learn about Australia, New Zealand a little bit, because Commonwealth. So yeah, when I hear about, the way that the States works from y'all, it is, I do find it quite fascinating because of that, because it is different from what, I'm familiar.
Well, it's like, I think was I talking with you directly, Samara, about it one time? Or was it, I can't remember if it was a Chatterday where someone had made or I know I made the comment for sure, but we had basically said that America isn't actually a country. It's 50 small countries wearing a trench coat masquerading as a country. And then my most favorite one that I actually just heard the other day, this is a joke I heard that I very much like to describe America. America's like a charcuterie board. You have all these great flavors. You have cheeses and meats and dried fruits, and it's all wonderful. And then someone goes and ruin it by throwing a bunch of crackers on it. I didn't write that.
It's not incorrect.
It's true.
I know someone who would appreciate that joke. I know someone intimately who would appreciate that joke. So thank you for that.
That was a good time for it, I thought.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, hopefully that this Bill of Rights will come to fruition. I mean, all I can do is hope and pray and keep my fingers crossed, but it's a tough battle right now, so who knows?
Absolutely. And I think that, with something like this, it being introduced to, like, the fact that it did get introduced and that it will be forced to be discussed is great. The fact that it probably might not go anywhere, not so much, but at the very least, it started.
I mean, one of the things I'm looking at too, I'm looking at the House.gov site on this and the other list of co-sponsors. And, there are some representatives, I think representatives in this case, Georgia.
Georgia?
There's a Georgia one on there, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Michigan. Surprisingly, there was a Georgia one in New Mexico. There's Nevada. There's a few red ones in there, or at the very least purple. So,
but Georgia's surprising because Georgia is quite.
Well, here's the thing about the whole. Remember again how we're a democratic republic and we don't actually have direct elections that actually make fucking sense. And we also gerrymander like crazy. And Georgia is one of the top places that does that. So whenever you see a state is red, blah, 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 doesn't necessarily mean that like the majority of people in that state think those same things. But it does mean that they have rigged things in a way that by gerrymandering that they happen to have representatives for those states that even if they don't have a majority of that particular party like affiliation is still like they're still representing, right? So it sucks because I know a lot of people when I lived in Georgia were very progressive. Granted, it was a long time ago, but seeing at least one of the representatives from Georgia being a sponsor of this tells us that somehow they're still getting through the gerrymandering process, and that gives us hope because that state, like you said, it is confusing as like, what? Someone from Georgia? Says to me most likely someone with actual critical thinking made it through all the gerrymandering and got on the ballots and people actually were able to vote for them successfully because voter suppression is also terrible in Georgia and the South generally. Soapbox.
Wait, you guys can critical think in the U.S.?
Sometimes. It's surprisingly rare.
You can't spell U.S. without us.
No, but Georgia it's true.
Okay.
Stupid.
Georgia is actually it is red, but it's like they're basically, first of all, it is rigged and they're also losing it even though it's rigged. Like it's almost out of their control. Like it's very close. But the whole Georgia's actually pretty big. Like it's a pretty big state geographically. It's nothing like California or anything, but like even if you compare it to other states in the South, like it's a pretty geographically big state. But the Atlanta is like one of the most diverse cities in the South. Like Atlanta is incredibly multicultural. It's a majority Black city, but it's like incredibly multicultural, like very, very much. Like, and it's huge. Like millions of people live in the greater Atlanta area. But then I think that there just still is enough, not only the rural stuff, but it's like basically like the rural counties that have way the fuck less people. Like they have like got the maps in such a way that
just freeze.
Give it a second. Oh, we're back.
Dipping out. Apologies.
We lost you for a second there.
It's less North Carolina is also super gerrymandered, but like in a bit of a different way. But it's another one of those states that is actually very much on the edge of like the GOP losing, even with all the gerrymandering. So, which is one of the reasons why I think there's like just this huge push because, there has been a lot of Yeah, that's a good map. Yeah, so you can kind of see this is like
So I
population
just brought up
density, right?
Yeah, so the map that I just switched over my image to, hopefully I'm waiting for the Riverside to switch over. But basically
I
what
can see
that
it.
is, that's a visualization. That's a political topographical map. So that actually shows voting by population density in the US. You can even see in those red states by volume, there's a lot more blue voters. It's pretty wild when you actually start looking at it that way.
I can't see it because it's too small on my
Because
tablet.
someone decided to use their iPad. So
It's not a decision.
Well-
It's where I am.
I don't know why Riverside won't switch to me every time it giggles, it switches. I guess it doesn't like me. Probably because it can't see my face. Actually, it's probably
I mean,
why.
it is
Well,
switched to you right now.
Are you sharing your screen or are you sharing your? Did you change your video?
Oh, no, you're right. I don't see my own video. You're right. That was kind of silly. I don't. But yeah,
Yeah, you're changing it on your system, not on Riverside. That's why.
But Riverside's still seeing it as your
Well, that's because she's
primary
putting
video
it
when
as
she's
her
talking.
camera instead of her camera.
It's
Yeah.
okay. We can move on
It's-
beyond the IT
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Out of curiosity, I don't think I heard you mention AOC as one of the co-sponsors of this bill, did she?
I was primarily looking for.
She is. I'm looking at it right
was she?
now.
Okay.
She might. Yeah, she probably is.
I was
I'm
going
looking
to
at it
say
right now.
like that would be really surprising to have her not a part of that.
I was looking for specific states when I was calling out those names.
Because of course, apparently
Fired.
one of the big stories that is slowly being developed is that apparently they're through like deep channels. I was talking to my brother about this. Apparently AOC might be making a presidential bid
Interesting.
for 2028. Because she'll finally be 35 because you guys have a law that requires you to be a certain age.
We have a min, but not a
It's-
max,
it's so-
unfortunately.
yeah,
I know.
that is really a problem. But
And it's the max that gets out
Yeah.
in trouble.
that would be I'm so happy to hear that, like, just the reminder that AOC is so young. I'm like, yes, I love that. Just for like whatever she
Yes.
decides to do. Like, yeah, that's really great. Just a great reminder. Who is the co-sponsor from Georgia, by the way? Was it
Henry Hank
Oh.
Johnson Jr.
okay? No, I don't know who
No
that
idea
is
who that
either.
is.
I think I'm more
Sounds
familiar
really
with
old
senators
name.
anyway, but
Yeah, is there any Yeah, I guess that's where the bill will probably be held up is because the Senate is really dumb in the States.
Back and forth kind of system, the way it works.
Yeah.
I always liked how, it has to go from one house to the other house, then back to the house, and then to the president, and then back to the house. Like, what are we doing?
Wait, what?
it's
There's
Yeah,
a
it's
weird,
bureaucratic on purpose. It's
I
really
feel like we
bureaucratic on
should
purpose
roll
Yeah.
the,
to restrict the
video.
flow of how things work.
Yes,
Schoolhouse
roll
Rock
that video.
Yes.
100 fucking percent.
Wait,
Yeah,
what? There's
Oh
a video?
yes,
that, and
and it's amazing. It's like
I'm just
Yeah.
a bill.
it's amazing.
I
I
feel
really,
like I need to
you
know
should.
about
I
this
really wish
now.
that it's kind of like
All right,
I wish
hold
that our
on.
government.
All right,
I wish
let's see
it
here.
felt like our government
Well,
worked
this-
like that though. Like now, I feel like I see that and I'm
Like,
thinking
just-
about that.
Yeah, just share it in like a chat. I don't like.
I'm gonna put
you
it
don't need
in
to
this chat here.
follow
I'm
this.
gonna put it in the for our two, count them, two. Yeah, that's right. Staying strong, our watchers, so that they can follow along with the coolness. Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
Schoolhouse
Thanks,
Rock.
Bree. Thanks, Bree, for being one of two.
I didn't know they have that Schoolhouse Rock did a thing. That's awesome.
That's what we were saying. Yeah, totes.
Back in the
Cults.
day when we actually tried to educate ourselves just a little bit more than we do now.
Yeah.
Just a little bit
Yeah.
more. Wasn't much better back then either, but it was better.
I mean, it was definitely a psyop. I'm gonna end that there before we get into a fucking rabbit hole of Russian conspiracy theories and all that jazz and how they work to bring down the educational system of America over generations.
We didn't need the help, honestly. We truly didn't.
At some point, we did. There was a point in time we did, and then we got it, and now it's really bad. Yeah, yeah. Don't trust your government, kids,
Don't
especially if you're trans.
trust your government.
This is what happens when half your culture is brought up on G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, yeah. Or wait, does that mean that Joe's pronouns are GI?
Maybe. He's got a bill.
I mean, sure.
So speaking a little bit of 80s culture, I actually just started to watch the new version of He-Man. Yes.
Oh.
And I feel like maybe I saw this somewhere online, and I haven't really had a lot of time to dig into it, and I've seen like 3 episodes. But it's like I feel like it's a quite transmass coded now, like the whole He-Man thing. And like I'm watching it through that lens and really, really enjoying it. And they did a great they've put in some great like He-Man puns. I'll just go that far. I won't spoil it for anyone. But like I'm really enjoying the like I also feel like even that like kind of hits on my trans heart, you know? Cuz
I'd have to ask: is He-Man just as queer as She-Ra?
Yes, but in a different way. Yes. I mean, She-Ra's like princesses of
Because that's the
power.
same universe.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's the same universe.
Yes. I just think it's
But just because they know each other doesn't mean that they're both
that's
queer.
true.
I'm not saying that he needs to be queer. I'm just saying, like, is the universe that they're displaying there just as queer as the universe over here?
Not in quite the same. It's a little bit of a different flavor. Yeah, but I just feel like that specific character, like I'm watching that quite differently. And there is the whole thing is a little bit queer, but it's not queer in the same way as She-Ra Princesses of Power. Although I will admit that a lot of times that is just on in the background, and it's not something that I'm super into. But
I'm not gonna lie, there is a part of me that is starting to build a fanfic that He-Man is actually She-Ra because you were talking about the trans mask side of it. So now I've got that kind of playing around in my head.
That's only because they haven't had a crossover yet,
same
though.
person.
Since they haven't had a crossover because they go by the old school 80s mythology, they're brother and sister, and they meet at some point, so who knows? I think my favorite discourse around the new He-Man series when they first started advertising it, people over there were freaking out like, oh my god, it went woke because it's got pronouns. It's like, it's literally He-Man. She-Ra. What are you talking about? It's woke because it has pronouns now. It's in his name.
So because it can't have pronouns, He-Man is now just called Man, and She-Ra is just called Ra. That's it.
Well, it got people were hyper focusing because I guess in the original trailer, like they had some picture of someone's desk or whatever. There was a nameplate on there or something like that, and that was the screenshot they were showing. And it's like, the hell are you doing? Like, did you just did you skip the title of the show entirely?
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, pronouns do insinuate the existence of amateur nouns. So he's got to have the professional nameplate to show that they're pronouns.
But would be an amateur noun. Now you have to define that.
I don't have to do shit.
And if there's amateur nouns, there also has to be recreational nouns.
I identify as a
and
threat.
That means there must also be medical nouns.
Medical?
Recreational versus medical? I'm thinking marijuana, baby.
Well, I was thinking no, because in sports there's professional, there's amateur, and then there's recreational. Oh my god!
Connection.
I don't know sports. I think I know sports. What?
Riv sports. You throw the ball to get a touchdown and score 3 points.
In every sport? Is that true? Jess, help me out here. I'm sorry, that's an assumption, but help me out.
I heard something about sports ball. I think that's great.
I don't know.
It's American.
Every single sports, you do a thing, you throw a ball, throw a ball.
You know
that one I know. Yeah,
hockey. That's just hockey.
Yeah,
sometimes. Speaking of hockey, did y'all see Trump's late night tweet where he was saying because we have some random bridge, we have Canada has to give up the Stanley Cup and no longer have hockey? Oh yeah, no, he had this great. I see if I can find it. He had this great late night.
I think I remember seeing that, and it's now coming back to me. This week has just been shit. So, like I said, it a lot of the news articles I've just been kind of hard focused.
I know I shared it with the Discord. Pretty sure I did.
Like, somebody needs to tell Donald Trump that, about 65%, I want to say, of the players in the NHL are Canadian.
Here it is. Would you like to hear exactly what he said?
If you think that logic will work on that piece of shit, you are sorely mistaken.
Sorry?
If you think that logic would work on that piece of shit on the president, you
no,
are sorely
I
mistaken.
understand. I'm just saying if you take all the Canadians out of the NHL, like the talent level is going to just go.
That didn't stop him from deporting everyone here and then be like, oh, why is the farm infrastructure collapsing?
Oh, but it's doing great. Didn't you know? We just moved our farms to Argentina.
But he made America great again.
Here we go. Prime Minister Carney wants to make a deal with China, which will eat Canada alive. We'll just get the leftovers. I don't think so. The first thing China will do, especially China, the first thing China will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup.
I remember reading that. I do remember reading that.
Like, what?
So we say ban ice, and his response is ban ice hockey. Great.
Basically. He's halfway there. He's getting there.
He's trying.
I'm just giving the people what they want.
I do agree with him one thing, though. When he says everyone wants transits for all, he's right. Yeah, sure.
Nah, we're too cool. We're exclusive.
Cool.
I'm joking.
We're almost at that point. Do we want to intermission then dive into the other shitty shit that's shitting of shit?
Yes.
Yeah, allow us to intermission and be crazy for a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, this time I'm somewhat prepared, and I'm gonna play the outro. Who laughed at me saying I was somewhat I heard a laugh from someone.
That was Jess. Totally Jess.
I see Jess laughing right now.
I've been
God
muted this
damn
whole
it.
time.
Throw me, whatever. So, anyway, thanks for joining us on this episode. We'll see you again next time. Or if you're one of the 3 people watching right now, hey, we'll see you in 10 minutes.
Stumbling for words in a vacant place.